So it would seem I've been challenged by some Lego engineers. Should I be worried? Well, let's have a look. So first up, we got one of the top boys on the space Lego scene. Let's see what Dan's got to say.
If you are a flat earther, there are
I'm going to stop you pretty much straight away, my handsome friend. No, I'm not a flat earther. I'm a demonstrable realist. You've been told this numerous times, yet you keep telling your viewers I'm a flat earther. Could it be you don't want them to know the demonstrable truth, the fact the globe's scientifically impossible? And you're trying to inform your viewers on a subconscious level that a demonstrable realist, me, stands by the loaded term flat earth and all the propaganda and silly claims and cartoons that go with it. Yes, I think that's the case, Dan. Very dishonest fella. You're trying to give your viewers the impression that I stand by things that aren't my claims. Propaganda, misrepresentations through use of wordplay. Loaded words, I should say. Let me state for the record, many times in the past, in my titles of my video, I've used the word flat earth. One, to tickle the algorithms, and two, to highlight people's automated responses to the words flat earth and how propagandized they are. Okay? And of course, I dropped that many years ago now. I don't even use it. I simply stand by demonstrable science because it's a better lever point. You don't have to entertain the propaganda. But still, I'm not that I've ever claimed flat earth maps and models. I'm still being misrepresented constantly because these people cannot accept the demonstrable truth. Incredibly telling.
few other things that you sort of have to believe other than flat earth. You have to believe that gravity isn't real, for instance.
Wrong. I don't deny our reality in any shape or form. Most things fall, some things rise. I don't deny it. In fact, I love it. Do you know why? Because the way reality presents itself to us proves the globe scientifically impossible. Because whatever is at play with regards gravity, cause and effect, whatever's going on there, it's not man enough to make the globe earth theory a reality. That's not my opinion, Dan. It's a demonstrable fact. Because whatever is at play can be overcome by a gentle breeze, and therefore isn't man enough to hold tower cranes upside down whilst doing ludicrous speeds in 4 different directions on a spinning, wobbling, oscillating ball. It's just a demonstrable fact. You're getting confused and misrepresenting again. I'm only speaking for myself here. What's denied are the silly stories attached to the way reality presents itself to us. Okay? No one denies what is. And what is tells us the globe's impossible. Alright? Whatever the cause and effect at play is, that you term gravity, just isn't man enough to make your delusional world a reality.
And that 8 inches per mile squared actually works.
None of your mathematics works, fella. It's all mathematical storytelling that doesn't have any practicality whatsoever to back it up. Just fantasy. Maths, as I've stated many times, is just a mathematical story unless it has scientific demonstrations to back up its claims. And that's exactly the case with this globe earth theory.
Most importantly, above all else, you have to believe that space is fake. But
Dan, how many times have you been told? You cannot have a spherical air pressure system rock, globe earth, residing in the middle of a vacuum, space, without some kind of solid separation. That's not my opinion, Dan. That's a scientific demonstrable fact backed up by every single demonstration on this earth involving a vacuum residing next to an air pressure system. So no, Dan, I don't believe in things that are scientifically impossible. Because if your spacecraft did get to a vacuum of space, as you put it, it would have needed to have gone through a solid wall to get there. Not my opinion, a demonstrable fact.
today, regarding that, I'm going to openly challenge a flat earther to try and debunk the undebunkable.
Well, I've just debunked it with demonstrable reality, and I haven't even seen the video yet, although I know what's coming because you've been going on about this for weeks now. But I've already destroyed it by stating simple facts that can be tested and verified by every single person on this earth.
Right, back to today's video, which, as I promised, will be a monumental challenge to flat earthers. Now, it's a prerequisite for flat earthers to claim that space is fake, NASA is a hoax, and everything they do is a lie. The trouble is, there's a video in existence which completely destroys that opinion. Now, in my opinion, it is undebunkable, and all my time doing YouTube for 5+ years, I've not once seen a flat earther take this video on.
Bless this man's desperation, citing some fantasy as proof that reality is wrong. What a silly charade all of this is.
Now, I've mentioned it before in previous videos, but today we're going to really show it off. And it is, of course, the 50-minute tour of the ISS. It quite simply is an amazing video, and it shows NASA astronaut Stephen Swanson giving us a guided tour of the International Space Station. Now, as I said, in my opinion, this is undebunkable, and that's highlighted by the fact that our favourite Flat Earth Fail compilation guest and all-round NASA critic level Earth observer has never, ever looked at this video. Now, he has looked at almost every single other video from NASA except this one. Now, I've asked him to multiple times, but he still refuses. You see, the thing is...
Well, do you remember our conversation where I asked you if you had any practicality to back up your fundamental claims to justify me wasting 15 minutes of my time looking at space propaganda? You didn't cite any, which of course debunked your fundamental claims and of course meant I didn't need to entertain this silliness. So again, this is just a silly charade for your fans, Dan. This is not looking good, fella.
I already know all of the arguments from flat earthers about why they think the space is fake and that NASA is a lie and all of that. They say CGI and underwater and wires and parabolic flights and everything like that. And none of those excuses work on this 50-minute tour of the ISS. So I've asked a friend of the channel, Pete MK, to do a deep dive on this video of the
Deep dive.
Tour of the ISS. Just to reaffirm what we all know, and that nothing will wash when it comes to this 50-minute tour. Take it away, Pete.
And of course, it turns out our mate here is another Lego engineer. Essentially, an older guy that plays with toys.
Today we're going to talk about Level Earth Observer yet again, and his fascination or bordering on obsession with the International Space Station or anything space related. And for a while now, myself and Dan have been trying to get him to watch the 50-minute ISS International Space Station tour, which is a fantastic piece of footage because it blows apart any argument anybody may have whether or not space is real and the International Space Station is actually up there. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to go through some points where, should Elio ever get round to actually watching this video, these are the points we think he'll try to point out and try and debunk. But as you'll see, it's completely 100% undebunkable.
Debunked it before it even begun by simply citing demonstrable science that can be tested and verified by all, which is my whole point in the first place, which is what gives me a free pass to bash space any which way I like. And I do that, and of course in doing so, I highlight the fact people like yourself can't provide any scientific practicality. No. You just have to cite more space propaganda. Slightly better versions. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll entertain you, me old fantasist mate, but we need Simon Dan to do a bit of a correction. Dan needs to highlight the fact in a video to his viewers that I'm a demonstrable realist, and he needs to highlight my claims. Things like you can have an air pressure system residing next to a vacuum. Tower cranes and pendulums don't have the ability to be dead still and plumb whilst doing ludicrous speeds in all different directions. And large standing bodies of water don't have the ability to display convexity upon its surface. That's the fundamentals of what I stand by. So let's have Dan highlight that rather than misrepresent me by using loaded terms to subconsciously misrepresent me to his viewers. So get Dan to correct his mistakes and misrepresentations, highlight my science, demonstrable reality to his viewers, and then I'll entertain your space video. Correct your mistakes, and then I'll entertain your propaganda, and I'll tear it left, right, and centre. Destroyed it before it even begun. Now it's on you. Correct your misrepresentations, and I'll tear your propaganda to pieces. Chop chop, Lego boy.